April, so Dom tried to catch me, you know. I wish I had left my scruff on, you know. And there are. Greg is going to give us a false quotes update every 20 minutes. How many followers do we have? 56. We've had a rousing week of 6 followers, adding to yesterday.
I follow him too. So every 2 of the 6. It's 2 of ours. I know the tweets are good.
Greg, you want to put what's
this is advertising.
Greg's got a captive audience here, so.
Oh, I already thought. Right. You too. But actually,
this needs to get, there's some really good ones from years past.
I made up a false quote yesterday. Yeah, that was so funny.
Made it up?
Yeah, I made it up. I said APUSH midterm gotta check with the wife.
All right, so let's get started here. Let's start all the way from the beginning. We'll bring us up. Hopefully we'll get to about 1800 or so. We'll see. But yeah, so we start off with way back at colonization. So you get a nice little drawn map of, oh, that doesn't work. Was this?
The black one's good.
The black one's good? Oh, recycling bit, that's not good. Wait, hold on. What do we do here? We got... Okay, we erase that. Then you
got this on film.
Alright, so we start with, this is, if you can't tell what this is a map of the New World here. Not drawn to scale. Not drawn to scale. Alright, so where do we have a big settlement? Who's coming where? Uh-oh. It's a good starting point here. Who's coming where in our New World settlement? Spain. We got Spain. Obviously, Spain is going to dominate pretty much Mexico, Caribbean, and South, although the Caribbean split up amongst numerous groups. And that is going to have an impact on our Midwestern territory there. Make sure we're all paying attention back there. You don't have to be here. So, and obviously Florida as well. Who else we got? English are sort of last in the game. We'll get to them last since that's going to springboard us forward. We got the Dutch. Where are those done?
That's a good question.
The Pennsylvania Dutch. Is that what you're going for there? Yeah, something like that. We've got New York, the Dutch. We've got the Caribbean area, the Dutch. They've tackled several islands there. Then who? Your last big non-English crew? These are action shots, right, Tom? France is where? France way up here, Canada. And obviously here down in the Caribbean area and in the Caribbean Islands area. And finally, eventually, you'll have the British, obviously, that they eventually put a big X around the Dutch and GB in the house. So, and then Great Britain also down here as well. All right, so yes, that's a good little map there. What else? Anything else significant here for all this? Remember the Caribbean, one of the classic aspects of the Caribbean is they're all sort of fighting, even though Spain dominates the bigger islands, smaller islands, a lot of fighting amongst all the different various colonial powers that are over there. Spain, obviously, the big dominating factor there. The big turning point. Good date to remember in world history. The turning point for the settlement of the New World. Come on. Spanish Armada, 1588. Spanish Armada destroyed. Just a couple of years later, you have the Roanoke Island colony, followed by, less than 20 years after that, you've got Jamestown, and another 15 or so years, you've got the Pilgrims. So that is your map of settlement patterns there. What's the next factor that we need to discuss? By map? Oh, sorry, that boss quote's gone. Boss underscore quotes. We've got our colonial regions here. So what do you think you need to know long-term about Spanish? Besides where they are, which you kind of already have. Name of the game for the Spanish settlements.
Sugarcane.
What's that?
Sugarcane.
Sugar. What else? What other basic characteristics of particularly the Caribbean and, well, the Caribbean settlements there? Obviously you have the slavery aspect there, the working slaves, the death kind of deal, very fiercely brutal slave plantations for sugarcane, a lot of the bigger islands. Obviously the big deal here is that this is the biggest cash cow in the New World here, the sugar cane, and that's why, again, if you remember, they can sort of siphon off the best, in their eyes, the best slaves, the strongest, and they're sort of a formula for how long they need to survive to make a profit there. So that's pretty significant here. Also, sort of in the Caribbean, some of the other big issues would be the piracy. Which, by the way, let's make sure that there's not too much misunderstanding. I'm sure there are renegade pirates and things like that, but most of the pirates are actually sponsored by, in a lot of cases, they're going to be sponsored by sort of the other, like if you're a Spanish island, you're going to have English privateers or French privateers coming after you. So you got piracy, you got hurricanes, high death rates, not a very good place to live. Not like it is to visit these days, far from it. You also have Spanish Florida, which is pretty significant. Anything significant there? That's at least one thing.
Wasn't a refugee for slaves?
Okay, refugee for runaway slaves. Eventually this is from the English colonies, and sort of a haven. The Native Americans are going to take advantage of the Spanish being there as well, to sort of go in and out of Florida, Spanish territory. The other thing is you have your first continental U.S. settlement from European situation. That's in St. Augustine. Sometimes pops up as a question every now and again on the AP test. So St. Augustine. Mexico. Anything to mention here? Couple of things. First off, what does Spain do in Mexico and pretty much Central and South America? You got some famous group of people that takes the whole thing over, that conquers the conquistadores. And they conquer the Aztecs and the Incas and all that kind of stuff at various points. But you also have your sort of like the Catholic missions. And this is pretty important for the southwest of the United States. These Catholic missions are going to be basically what moves up into the present-day United States in that territory. And eventually, one of the more famous events, I guess, is the Pueblo Revolt. Sometimes that pops up. It's just the Native Americans sort of rebelling against the Mexican government-aided conquistadors, Catholics, etc. That's Spain. What about France? Oh, the Dutch. What do you got from the Dutch? Quick. Not too much here. What? New Amsterdam. Good thing, too, because that's, I mean, this is dating me a little bit, but I didn't even really like this group, but my brother did. They Might Be Giants. There's a song. I don't know what the name of it is. Oldest once New York and sold in Amsterdam. Why they changed it, I can't say. Anybody know that song? It's like Istanbul and Constantinople too. Anyway, so you got, and obviously this is going, the big thing here is you got some diversity. Oh, by the way, on our little map here too, if you got your little map on there, you got Sweden jumping into the mix of all things. Who else has got some Swedish in them? Nice guys. I like that table back there. Spain's name is Swenson. You know?
Like Nick.
Yes, I've asked him about that. He's not Swedish at all. Let's see, you got the Dutch. That's pretty much it for them. Obviously, they get taken over by the English at some point. The Swedish get taken over by the Dutch. Before that, France.